Hi, I'm Tanisha and you're watching this video with justtutors.com. Today we are going to learn about fractions, and in this video we'll mainly focus on comparing fractions. So before we move on to the topic, let us try some warm-up questions first. If you want to try the questions by yourself, you can pause the video and match your answers later. Question number 1. Categorize the following numbers. So that comes 12, which is a whole number. Then we have -4, which is a negative number. Then comes 1/3, that's a fraction. And then it is 0.7, which is a decimal number. Let's try question number 2. Perform the following operations and verify the results. So we need to perform the basic mathematical operations, and part A says 12 times 11. So the answer would be 132. Likewise, the B part says 100 divided by 3. So the answer would be 33.333 and so on. So that would be a recurring decimal. Pat your back if you've got all the answers absolutely correct. Now let's move on to the topic, which is about comparing fractions. So whenever we try to compare the fractions, there are actually 3 cases we need to keep in mind. The first case comes where the denominators are all same. So no matter how many fractions you are working with, you just need to give a look at the denominator, and if they all are same, then the job is really very easy. You just need to look at the numerators and compare them. So the numerator, which is the smallest, would be the smallest fraction, and then the bigger one would be the bigger fraction, and then the biggest one would be the biggest fraction. Let's try to understand it with the help of this example. So that goes 3/5 and 4/5. So if you look here, the denominators are same, hence we need to look at the numerators, which are 3 and 4. And since 3 is small, that means 3/5 is actually the smaller fraction here. Let's come to case number 2, which talks about where the numerators of the fraction are all same. Likewise, as we've discussed in the previous case, here it has a little difference in it. So in this one, the numerators are gonna be the same. It means the top number would be the same. Hence, we need to look at the bottom numbers. But here we have a twist. This time, the denominator that will be the smaller will give you the bigger fraction. Let's try to understand it with the help of an example. So the example is 5/3 and 5/2. So we've got the numerators same, which are 5 and 5, and then we've got denominators which are 3 and 2. So we need to look at the smaller denominator, which is 2 in this case, and hence the bigger fraction in this case would be 5/2. Now let's move forward and have a look on the third case, which is neither the denominator and nor the numerator is same. So in such cases, the fractions are totally different from each other. Let's look at the example, which is 2/3 and 5/6. So if you notice, none of the numerator and denominator is matching. Hence, to solve and compare such fractions, we need to consider the LCM. So LCM is the lowest common multiple. And remember that we need to search for the LCMs of the denominators, the bottom number. So in this case, the denominators are 3 and 6, and the LCM of these two numbers is 6. So we need to use our knowledge of equivalent fraction to get 2 pairs of equivalent fractions of it. So 2/3 gets converted into 4/6, and in this case the second fraction won't change at all because it has already 6 as the denominator. And now the new fractions are 4/6 and 5/6. So in this case, both the denominators are same again. Hence, it becomes the question of case number 1. So we just need to compare the numerators, and the one which is the smaller numerator would give you the smaller fraction. In this case, we can simply work out that 4/6 is actually the smaller fraction, but remember, it is not the original one given in the question. Hence, 2/3 would be the smaller fraction than 5/6. Let's try and solve one question on it. So let's say we need to compare these two fractions given in the question, 3/8 and 5/12. So again, if you notice, this is case number 3, nothing is matching. So we need to look for the LCM of it, which is lowest common multiple, which is 24 in this case, 8 and 12. Hence, we need to change both the fractions in such a way that we get denominator as 24. So 3 times 3 is 9, 8 times 3 is 24, 5 times 2 is 10, 12 times 2 is 24. So now again, we've got 2 new fractions with the same denominator. So we just need to compare the numerators, which are 9 and 10. And because 10 is larger, hence 10/24 would be the larger fraction. But remember, this was not the original one as given in the question. So we can sum up it as 5/12 is the larger fraction. Now we've got some practice questions for you, question number 1, 2 and 3. So you can pause the video and don't forget to match your answers right here. Thank you for watching the video. For more, please log on to justtutors.com.